I'm back.
Today I have with me two highly anticipated UCS sets, Boba Fett Slave 1 and Jango Fett Slave 1, and I'm going to help you decide which you should buy or if you should buy both.
Here we go!
Quick note, I do not have the room to build these sets since I do not own my own house and my room is overflowing with Lego. However, I have seen both these models and there's plenty of long reviews online. But in this video, I will talk about some additional things to keep in mind to help you make a choice when buying these sets. I spent thousands of dollars on Lego over the past 10 years, so I'm sure I can give you a good perspective, so let's get into it. Starting with Boba Fett Slave 1. This set was released in 2015 and retailed for $199.99. However, if you want this set today, it costs around $600 in the secondary market and will likely increase this year. It has 1,996 pieces and 5 great minifigures for the time being. The Boba Fett minifigure is definitely the highlight considering it has arm printing and costs about $140 alone today if you want them. The box art on the set is one of the best in my opinion, and a lot of the LEGO Star Wars community feels the same about this set. The LEGO Star Wars community has also ranked this set a top 5 of all time UCS set pretty regularly because the build is so fantastic and the fact that the set only cost $200 back then. But now we are in 2025, so you have to be looking at the $600 price tag. Aside from the amazing build and figures, there are some drawbacks to the set that I want to talk about. First is the shaping of the ship, which no one really criticized early on because of the difficulty to make it look as accurate as possible. But now after the design of the Jango Fett Slave 1, it's pretty clear that the shape of the old Slave 1 is not as accurate as people thought back then. It's not bad at all by any means, it just shows the improvements of design LEGO has made from 2015 to 2025. Another issue with the set is not actually the design, but it's actually with the quality of the red pieces. If you didn't know, certain colors of pieces, namely brown and this shade of red, would break way more easily than other pieces. I'm not sure of the reason, you can research that if you want, but it's likely that when assembling the Slave 1, the red pieces may break, and it's quite costly to replace them on Bricklink since some of them are large and unique. So in essence, this set can cost you more than $600 you pay up front for a new one, and the pieces are probably even more likely to break if you buy a used one. It's definitely important to think about this before buying this set. On to Jango Fett Slave 1, and when I first heard the rumor of this set, I was really excited, and LEGO really delivered on a fantastic and accurate looking model. The set costs $299.99 and has 2,970 pieces, almost 1,000 more than Boba Fett Slave 1. The Jango Fett minifigure is amazing, and I love the new rangefinder piece. However, I cannot say the same for the young Boba Fett minifigure. The arms feel way too light, and the hairpiece is awful. The old one was much better. He should also have dual molded legs to match the boots, so this figure overall is unacceptable. If you can look past the Boba Fett minifigure, the build is phenomenal, the most accurately shaped Slave 1 to date by a long shot. The curvature along the outside of the ship really makes this model feel like an Ultimate Collector set. It is so accurate, and the set being minifigure scale is also a nice bonus. There is space in the cockpit for 2 minifigures, and compared to the Slave 1 from 2015, the builds are relatively the same size. Besides the minifigure inaccuracy, the only other problem is that there is a piece color that is minorly inaccurate. It's not a deal breaker, but I thought I would point it out because it's a simple recoloration would fix the problem. Other than that, the set is amazing. Now the question, which should you buy or should you buy both? Well, it depends on how much money you are willing to spend and if you are a big fan of Boba Fett. Unfortunately, I do not think the Boba Fett Slave 1 will be remade anytime soon, so buying the current one is probably the only option. If you're on a budget, I think Jango Fett Slave 1 is a must buy. It is so accurate, and I feel like the Boba Fett isn't enough of a deal breaker for $300. Maybe wait on a sale for the set, or double VIP points if you want a better deal, since the set will likely be around for about 2 years. So yes, buy the Jango Fett Slave 1. Boba Fett Slave 1 is a little different because of how expensive it is. It will be at least $600, so it's essentially double the price for a worse model. And there are sets like the Venator and the Razor Crest and the Sail Barge, which are around the same price point and are much larger in terms of piece count and size. They're also all great sets as well. Another issue is when you're building the set and the red pieces break, and you'll have to spend more money to replace them, so unfortunately that's an unintended issue with the red pieces. I would say only buy the Boba Fett Slave 1 if you're a huge fan of Boba Fett, and the $600 price point is not an issue. I'll be looking forward to building both of these sets and putting them on display cases. That's all I have to discuss today, so let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the sets, and I'll see you guys really soon.